Natsuiro High School Seishun Hakusho Tenko Shōnichi no ore ga Osana najimi to saikai shitara Hodo buin ni sarete ite Geisha shoni no hibi o sukupu dai renpatsu de Igai to mote mote na no ni Naze ka my memory wa pantsu shashin bakkari toyu genjitsu to mukiai nagara Kangaeru hito natsu no shima no gakuen seikatsu to Sekirara na koi no yukue. This is a long-ass name. And it's also a new game for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, published by D3 and developed by Tunsoft, the same guys responsible for games such as One-chan-bara and Dream Sea Club, which means that this is sure to be a freaking great game.
No, it really doesn't.
That's right, everyone! It finally happened! Japan has made their own GTA, and it's really moe.
No, really? They actually did that?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I just believe that...
But it was obvious this was eventually coming! After all, the Japanese media can make anything look cute!
Yeah, but...
You do know this was bound to happen, right? Confess!
Yes, okay, I knew about all this stuff, but I didn't expect a kind of Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Our chief weapon is surprise. Surprise and fear. Fear and surprise. Our two weapons are fear and surprise and ruthless efficiency. Our three weapons are fear and surprise and ruthless efficiency and an almost fanatical devotion to the Pope. Amongst our weaponry are such elements as fear. I'll come in again.
The idea of an open-world dating scene sounds awesome, but it's nothing unique. If you think about it a little bit, you will notice Harvest Moon is pretty much that, plus farm management.
Yeah, but let's say you don't want to waste your time with boring animals and plants, and just want to flirt with cute 2D girls. Is this game for you?
That's a very complicated question. You see, this game has some very good ideas, but it is lacking in some areas.
Which is why we decided to divide this review in 2 rounds. Starting with...
What they got right!
Having an open space to walk around freely is great. This means that you get to do only the events that you want. Let's say you don't want to talk with that annoying character that you hate so much. That's okay, you can just ignore her.
This also means you can freely interact with any character inside this 3D environment. So you can do all sorts of things with those cute little girls, like doing this.
For those who got disgusted with the way this game was advertised, don't worry. You are never forced to take photos of girls' underwear. Tunsoft and D3 have not fallen as low as Larry did.
And besides, if you just want to look at some panties, you can just change the camera angle and here you go! All the panties you want, with nobody to bother you. Enjoy!
And now that I look closer, those characters are actually pretty different from each other.
That's right. Tunsoft did a good job at making every single student to be a distinct character. They all have their own names instead of being just Student A or Girl B. They also have their own personalities and even their own events and side quests. It doesn't look like they are just using different wigs, you know?
There are some games that could learn a thing or two from this. Just saying.
And to finish this round, I think some people might take some enjoyment from some of the events and some of the characters. Somewhat, somehow.
That's all?
Yeah, pretty much.
In that case, let's move on with...
what they got wrong. So, you thought comparing this to Harvest Moon was a bit of a stretch? After all, you usually have a little more besides your own farm to explore in that franchise. But this isn't too far from what we get in this game either. Don't be expecting to get a Liberty City out of this. Yumegashima is a small island with not much to do. You sure can ignore the main plot and just fool around all day doing whatever you want, just like you could in GTA, but you will probably get bored to death.
And talking about death, you don't need to worry about something as trivial as that, since the playable character don't take damage from anything, not even by falling from the 3rd floor of a building.
I'm fucking invincible!
The only way to punish the player is...
おいそこで何してる誰か
No, it's not even nearly as awesome as that. Anyway, if you want some different stuff to do aside from the main story, there are plenty of side quests throughout the game, especially if you look around at the school area. But those are not funny, nor interesting. There are 2 things you get from side quests: money and affection points with sub-characters. But since you can't date with sub-characters, those affection points are kinda pointless. And besides, you can raise your money much faster just by fishing, which you can do whenever you want. You spend your money buying gifts for the girls you want to date with, but every single one of them loves chocolate, which just happens to be the cheapest item in the whole game. This makes money become downright worthless in no time.
欲しかったんだ。ありがとう。ずっと大事にするね。これ欲しかったの。ありがとう。これ欲しかったの。ありがとう。これ欲しかったの。ありがとう。
The graphics are decent enough when depicting the main heroines, but the character designs are quite generic even in comparison with other games from this same developer. And when it comes to sub-characters and backgrounds, it gets much worse. Environments look empty and male characters look lame.
But the main problem has to be the characters themselves, starting with the main character. Just guess what is the perfect description for the protagonist of a harem story. Yep, an ordinary high schooler with no special talents, but who is, at the very least, really kind.
Don't forget, he wanted to drink the water from the girl's bath, and he got a boner just by watching a little girl eating a banana. He's also pretty dumb and always gets low scores at tests. No wonder the girls never listen to him during discussions, and he often gets the blame for things he didn't do, without even a chance to defend himself. Yes, he's pathetic.
And then you get your usual generic harem members. Few of them are interesting, and their roles are usually quite boring. There is but one heroine who actually got a very interesting personality and a fantastic character development, but she is well hidden and locked unless you trigger a sequence of events leading to her introduction. But most importantly, you need to finish the game once by getting a bad ending.
It's like they knew people would fail to get a proper ending, so they made the best route to be unlocked only when you're about to throw the game away after getting the shitty one.
To make matters worse, it's actually very difficult to get a good ending, and it's also anti-intuitive, because the safest way to accomplish that is to ignore all the freedom the game gives you by avoiding any event involving girls you are not trying to date with. You just need to keep doing the same thing over and over again.
The gameplay is no good either. The controls are slippery, so it's a pain in the ass to move around. There's an in-game time system, but you don't get a clock anywhere in your menu. The only way to check the hours is to visit the nurse office, where you can find the only clock working available in the entire game.
As if it wasn't enough, the map sucks. You can't get it to zoom in more than that, and there is not enough details about the school area, which is the most important place in the game. You could also add some icons to help find heroines and side quests. It can't be that hard to make that. And one more thing, the bicycle is the fastest way to move around, but you need to press, not hold, the R2 button all the time for it to keep moving. It's tiresome and it could eventually damage your controller.
Oh, come on. Cheer up, Brian.
My name is not Brian.
But you can't blame the game for all those flaws. You see, they actually warned you that it would suck during the load screen.
ごめんなさい。タムソフトの開発力ではこれが限界なの。
Well, that is quite depressing actually.
But think about all the fun you can still get by exploring the 7 mysteries of Yumegashima School. The ghost of the abandoned building. The monster of Yumas. The god from the forbidden shrine. The girl who talks with fairies. The Stonehenge. The mysterious principal. And finally, the wall that eats students.
I'm pretty sure the last one is just a glitch.
What? Seriously?
Yep. After all, this game has all kinds of weird graphical stuff.
I give up. Fuck this game.
To be honest, this idea has potential. It could be the base for a great dating scene in the future, but not like this. Even older games by Tansoft look better than this game, like Dream Sea Club, but this is because Dream Sea Club has a limited environment, so it was easier to control things and to avoid weird stuff like this from happening. Tansoft just wasn't prepared for a game with this level of freedom. But at least, I must praise their courage for trying something out of their comfort zone.
You got that right. And since this game is already filled with all kinds of stereotypes, let's end this in the most racist way possible.